So I grew up not really having a plan or really knowing what I wanted to do with my life, and that was quite a battle growing up. I'd been through the whole phase of I wanted to be a footballer when I was a lot younger, but then sort of growing up through secondary school into sixth form, I never really had a clear direction for where I wanted to take my life. So this is a story what I want to share is really about God having a plan even when I didn't, and how that's encouraged me in the sort of the life that I've lived, and just encouragement to other people as well, really, who may be in similar situations. They don't really know what they're called to, or they don't really know what they want to do in life. Just to say that God has a plan. God knows what it is that you're going to be doing. So, as I already mentioned, I didn't really know what I wanted to do growing up. I went through sixth form, kind of enjoyed psychology, but didn't really go anywhere with that. And after sixth form, kind of left, not going to uni because I didn't want to waste 3 years of my life doing something that I then wouldn't follow up on. So decided not to go to uni, and looked for jobs, sort of filler jobs where I could just, take something up whilst I worked out what I wanted to do. So I ended up working at a primary school for 2 years. I was a teacher assistant. That was good fun, and sort of looked at teaching whilst doing that because I thought maybe this is an avenue that I could go down. But in the end, decided it wasn't for me. If you're a teacher, you're brave. So kind of, wanted to get out of that because I knew that was almost like a dead end for me. So I looked at other jobs, and there was a lady in my church who owned her own company. So I went for an interview and sort of went for a few taster days to see what it'd be like working for her. Went through the whole interview process, had a few trials, and quite enjoyed what I was doing, and actually wanted to go through with it. Had the interview, got accepted, and was going to be going through to do sort of a trial shift to see whether they liked me in that role or not, and then found out that actually I had a sudden change in heart, and that wasn't really what I wanted to do, which is quite strange because the day before I was quite happy that this is something that could be quite fun, I might enjoy this. So having that sudden change in heart was a real signal to me that this is strange. This isn't necessarily what I want to do, but I feel like God was saying this isn't the right thing for you to be doing. So I went away and I prayed about it and kind of had that confirmation that God didn't want me to be working there, and looked at different things to do. Didn't really know what I was looking for, but stumbled across this gap year program run by Youth for Christ, and it was actually something I'd looked at 2 years prior to that, before I ended up working at the primary school, and it just felt right. So I did all the paperwork and the signing up and all that kind of thing. Went for the interview, which went really well, and ended up on this gap year, signing my life away for a year to go and work with Youth for Christ and to work for God and work with young people. And it was a really good year. I learnt a lot on that year. And very early on during that year, I felt God saying to me, you're going to be planting churches in the future. And I remember it so significantly because that was the first time that I felt like I had direction for my life. And it's really stuck with me even to today. So I went about that year, learnt more about God, learnt more about myself, did that year with some really great people, did a second year with them. But during that first year I met Ian Savory, and he kind of tied me up and got me over to Sheringham, where I've been working for the last 4 years. And say that I did a second year of Youth for Christ, went on, he encouraged me to look at universities, so I've been studying theology. And it's really strange looking back now how everything has sort of pointed me towards this direction since giving my life away, essentially. Kind of accepting the fact I don't really know what I want to do. So God, you take over and I'll go wherever. And yeah, God has done that. He's been faithful. He's never let me down. He's kept me going. And just, yeah, a real encouragement looking back, even saying it back now, realising God's always had a hand on me. He's always been watching over me. And he does the same for you too.